Hello students. Now we are going to cover up with the second part of minimizing power usage. In the last PPT, we were discussing about the examples of LAN, MAN and WAN. LAN stands for your local area network, which can be the network established can be within a one particular room or a building. WAN stands for your wide area network. Wide area network can connect two different geographical areas together. Example is your internet, Facebook. MAN is metropolitan area network, which is mainly used to connect two different cities together. It can be your network of your particular mobile phone as an example for your MAN. Now we are going to discuss with the second part, that is your virtualization. Virtualization means creating a virtual version of something. That something can be your operating system, can be a virtual version of computer hardware platform, wherein you don't have to install that particular application or the software in your desktop. Virtually you can work on that particular application. You can make use of all the facilities that are provided by that particular application, but it cannot be used to store the data permanently. So these are the two techniques. One is our virtualization, and the second one is what we have covered is our data deduplication process. So once again we can revise the concepts. The two low cost devices are, the first one is we came across is kilowatt device or power meter booster device, and the second one is a Tech Republic calculator. Now the next part is we are going to cover what is the meaning of net metering. Net metering is a process which is used by the renewable energy resources. So we can generate the power by making use of renewable energy resources, and whatever the extra power that is being generated, we can sell that power back to the power company. This process is known as net metering. To carry out with this particular process, we need solar panel or photovoltaic panel to absorb the solar radiation, inverter to regulate the power and change it into AC alternating current, and meter to keep a track of how much power is being sent back to the power company. Now the next part is we are talking about the mechanical device which is going to reduce the power consumption. It is mainly used in a data center. There are two types of devices are there. One is known as air side economizer and the second one is known as your water side economizer. Air side economizer regulates the use of outside air for cooling a room or a building. The sensor is mainly used to measure the temperature both inside and outside the building. If it finds the outside air is suitably cold enough to cool the data center, then it will adjust the damper accordingly to draw in the outside air, thus making it a main source of cooling. And the second one is we come across is your water side economizer. It makes use of evaporative cooling process to indirectly produce chilled water to cool a data center when outdoor conditions are cool. The difference between air side and water side economizer is basically air side economizer will cooler outside air directly into a facility to prevent overheating. Water side economizer use cold air to cool an exterior water tower. The next important part is what are the various methods to optimize the airflow. Optimizing airflow means basically to deliver a precise cooling environment, there must be the proper exchange of air must take place in a must be exchanged in a sufficient rate. First method is hot ale versus cool ale configuration. In this, the equipment is designed in such a way to draw in the hot air from one side and blow the exhaust from the another side. The cool sides of the equipments are arranged together, whereas the hot sides of the equipment face each other. This allows the equipment to cool in the cool air rather than the air that has been preheated by the rack of the equipment in front of it. The cool ale is mainly going to draw the cool air from one particular side. The second method is we come across this raised floor. It provides an elevated structural floor above a solid surface. It creates a hidden void or a passage for a mechanical and electrical services. This method can be implemented in many different office buildings where the cables, wiring and electrical supplies are mounted under one particular floor. We can raise the floor size up to 4 feet. Higher the floor level, the more air can be distributed under the floor and the more air can be used by the cooling system. And the third method is basically the vapor barrier or a vapor seal. The vapor barrier is basically any material that is mainly used for damp proofing. We can make use of a plastic sheet or a foil sheet as a vapor sealing. Now, what is the meaning of on-demand cooling? On-demand cooling is basically these units are brought in to provide a temporary cooling solution when the centralized air is down. Like the example for this is you come across your air side cooler and we come across your water side cooler. So once again, let us revise the concept. To optimize the airflow, we come across the first method is hot ale versus cool ale. Second one is raised floor level, and the third one is vapor sealing. Okay, so in hot ale versus a cool ale, the cool sides of the equipment are kept close to each other. From one side, it is going to draw the hot air outside the particular room. To prevent the recirculation of equipment exhaust, we can make use of hot ale versus cool ale design. We can make use of rigid enclosure. We can make use of flexible strip curtains. While designing, we have to keep cooling in our particular mind. So we need to block unused rack locations with blank. Basically, this is the cooling requirement is an important part. Before we purchase any particular electronic equipment, we should know how do we calculate the cooling requirement. To calculate the cooling requirement, we require the various factors such as room area BTU. BTU is basically British thermal unit, which is mainly used to measure the amount of heat that is being generated. The amount of heat that is being generated can be measured in terms of your BTU, British thermal unit. The factors which are going to affect or which we need to calculate the cooling requirements are, the first one is we come across room size BTU, Room size BTU is basically what is the length and the width of that particular room. Window BTU, and we come across equipment BTU, lighting BTU. Lighting BTU is the total watts of electrical equipment, total watts of energy that is being consumed by the various electrical equipments. Total occupant BTU is the number of people located in a particular room into 400. Basically, in a data center, there will be no people located in a room. We come across equipment BTU. Equipment BTU is again the total watts of power being consumed by all the electronic equipments except lighting equipments. So the total heat load can be measured as the sum of room area BTU, window BTU, lighting BTU, equipment BTU, and total occupant BTU. While designing the data center, we have to keep in mind that cooling is an important part. We come across two different types of designs. One is known as your open architecture, where the modules can be positioned close to the racks but are not enclosed. And the second one is we come across your closed design, where electronics and cooling equipments are situated together in a sealed environment. So this completes up with your second unit. Once again, let us revise the important concept. The first one, we have covered what are the various problems that we are going to face under the power sectors. And the second one, what we have covered is what are the various power monitoring devices or the low cost devices which can be used. One is kilowatt, and the second one is we come across is Tech Republic calculator. And the third one we came across is the different methods like data deduplication and virtualization. It helps to reduce the power consumption. And the fourth one we came across your economizer. Two types of economizers are there. One is air side economizer and the second one is your water side economizer. To optimize airflow, we are going to make use of three techniques. One is hot air versus cool air. Second one, raised floor. And the third one we came across is vapor sealing, that is your vapor barrier. Plastic or a foil sheet can be used as a vapor barrier. Then we have studied how can we prevent recirculation of equipment exhaust. And the last one is your system design. There are two types of design, which is your open architecture and your closed architecture. So this is about the quick revision about your unit number 2. So these are the important concepts or the questions which can be asked from your unit number 2. Please revise the entire unit. Thank you.